Hello everyone, welcome to SAP Technomaniac. In this video, we will create our basic CDS view. We start with the CDS view and we try to understand each and everything. Before going to the system, I just want to explain the two main things. Whenever we create the CDS, there will be three parts of the CDS. So as I already told you, CDS will always created in either ADT or HANA Studio. We can't use SAP's UI to create CDS or modify CDS. So when we have to create CDS in ADT, we have to create data definition language source object. That object will contain two things. One is the SQL view, second is the CDS entity of the CDS view. So this DDL source will be we will write inside the DDL source using the DDL editor, that is called data definition language editor, which I will show you in meanwhile. And as soon as we activate this DDL source, one SQL view and one CDS entity will be created in the database. One more important, this DDL source only will be transported to the another system. So it will contain this two things and it will be transported wherever we see in the TR. What will be captured? Neither the SQL view nor the CDS entity. The DDL source name will be captured in the TR, and this DDL source only responsible for the checking the syntax and activating the code and this transporting to the one system to another system. So let's jump into the system and see how to create this DDL source. Inside the DDL source, how to define the CDS entity and SQL view. So as I told you, first we will create the DDL source. To create the DDL source, we have to right click on your package. In which package you want to create the CDS view, you have to go new other ABAP repository object and you have to search for DDL source, or you can search for data definition source. Both are correct. And you have to give your first CDS views DDL source name. So I will give Z DDLS sample 01. This will be our first CDS view for first DDL source name. My first DDL source name. Okay. You have to click on next button. Assign the transport, and it will ask for to use any template. So as of now, I don't want to use template to explain each and everything initially. Later point of next, when we create the another further CDS view, that time we will use the template. So let me do the finish setup. So I have created one DDL source. This I have showed you in the PPT. That's a free simple template DDL. There is no CDS view, there is no SQL entity, nothing is there as of now. It's a DDL editor is there. This is called DDL, data definition language editor, and the object which we have created, that is DDL source code. Inside this we will define our first CDS view. So for defining the first CDS, let's start. So very easy, everything. So since we want to define the view, so you have to write define, help is there, view, and then you have to give the view name. So you can give any view name. So this will be my first CDS, G CDS entity, G CDS sample 01. Like that I can give any name. So I have defined the first, I have given the name of the CDS view. Once defined is, I want to select something. So basically CDS view is what? We want to get the data. This is view from the multiple table or one table, whatever we want to do. So this will be the basic CDS. I will use one table only. It's select. So here is one more thing. There is a two way of defining the CDS view from here end. First way, we can define like a simple select statement as well. Second way, we can define like a curly, inside the curly brackets we can define the field list. I will show you both way. First way, I will show you normal select statement. It's select. What do you want to select? I want to select VBAK. I can give any alias name as well, like we used to give in our select statement, SO, and two field I will select. One Kunnar I will select as a customer. First I can say from where you want to select, from VBAK. From VBAK. That's it. This is the CDS view definition. But the VBLN, sales order number. So from VBAK I want to select. So I am getting still one error, statement is incomplete. So here dot will not work, we have to use semicolon to complete the statement. So here it is saying SQL view missing. We have defined here, this is the CDS entity we have defined. For CDS entity, what is the SQL view name? That also needs, that is mandatory. One of the mandatory thing in the CDS, whenever we create the CDS view, we have to define the SQL view name. This we will do using the annotation. This will be our first annotation to create the CDS, and it's a mandatory as well. So someone asked, what is the mandatory annotation when we create the CDS view to define the SQL view name? So the help is there. It's already telling that which annotation you need to define. So ABAP catalog, SQL view name, and annotation you have to define. For defining annotation, you have to give @ you have to define ABAP catalog help is there. I can search or I can write it down. Log dot, as I will write, then I will get the SQL view name. Let me select this one. So this SQL view name will appear in our SE11. When data dictionary it will appear. So you have to give some CDS view. One more SQL view name. So one more thing, this is CDS entity and this is SQL view. I will define, since it is CDS ZV SQL underscore sample underscore 01, like that, and this will be always in the inside the comma. So before doing anything else, this is our simple, what I did, this is the basic simplest form of the CDS view I have created. So as I told you, we have this is called data definition language source. Inside this object we will create the CDS entity. We define one CDS entity. For this CDS entity, what is the corresponding SQL view name? This is the SQL view name. As of now, if you go and see in the system, let me open one transaction, Alt F8. If you want to open any transaction inside the Eclipse, you have to do Alt F8, and I want to open SE11. This will open SE11 data dictionary inside the Eclipse editing. I just want to show you before activating this simple CDS view. I just want to show you guys, there is no Control V. Let me display it out. So you can see this, currently this object is not exist at all in the system. Or what I will do now, I have created this CDS view. I am getting one warning. What is this warning? Key definition is missing. So I can say this is the key VBLN. So this warning will go. The sales order is a key, and customer, I define the simplest CDS view, and I will activate this view. As soon as I activate this view, one SQL in our SE11, one SQL view will be created where we can see this SQL view in SE11, and second, the CDS entity will created in database as the form of the HANA view. So when in the form of the HANA view, this is called the CDS entity. So let me activate this one. Control F3. One more thing I want to tell you, once you activated this DDL Source, then you will be not able to rename either the SQL view or the CDS view name. If you want to rename, you have to delete this DDLS and you have to create new DDLS. That is the only way. There is no other way. Once you activated this one, I will try to rename also. Before that, I just want to show you guys, as soon as we activated this one SQL view created in the SE11. So let me show you this one. Let me display out this one. So it was not there, I showed you. Now it is there. You can see this SQL view. So this is called CDS database view. And what is the data definition for this particular DDLS name? This is GDDLS name. Here what is the data definition name? This is GDDLS name. And what is the SQL view name? This is called the GV SQL view name. And CDS entity we have already have these, all three things are different name. That is the reason we can give this DDL Source name and CDS entity name, we can give same name, but it's recommended you to use different name. But if you try to give the SQL view name and the CDS view name is the same name, it will not allow you. It will give because both belong to the same namespace. You can't give the same name of this particular SQL view and CDS entity, but you can give the same name as that your DDL Source name and the CDS view name. You can give the same name, but it's recommended to use the different name for both the things. So I showed you this particular, this is simple CD, like the view, like a state view where we are getting the two fields from the VBAK. So this is the one way to get the one way to define the view. There is another way also. Let me comment it out. Let me Control Alt arrow down button. Everything shortcut will work here because it's Eclipse. And again, how to comment out our code? This is the one of the way. If you want to comment out, start of comment and end of comment, you can use this one. And if you do Control Shift less than, double forward slash will come. Like that also you can comment. This is another way to comment. Comment single line, you can say. There is one another way you can do. You can write this. It will also write. This will also, you can comment out your code. Comments are very useful to define our code. We can give a lot of information. That is the reason I am showing you these three things. Like this three, all are the three way we can write the comments. Now let me define same way I will do. Instead of from VBAK shifting later, I will tell define this view is select from this table, and I will give what all are the field that I will give in the curly braces. That's the only difference. Otherwise same syntax, no error I will get. This is the another way of to defining the view. So this will only, we will whenever we define a template through whenever we create the DDL Source using the template, that time this and one of the annotation, there will be another annotations will also come, but this is the first annotation and it's a mandatory one. This is one of the important interview question, I can say. They will use to what is the mandatory annotation when we create the CDS view. So like that we can define the simplest view and we can display. Now I want to tell some of the things about the keywords. So I have used the define keyword. I can write like this. I can write like this also, but I can't in camel case also write, and in simple case and all capital also I can write. I will not get any error. But as soon as you will write like D, this will give you error. So this we will not able to identify the camel case allowed, lower case allowed, uppercase allowed. Everything uppercase, everything lowercase or camel case is allowed. But something like this, it is not understandable by your compiler. So it will give us the error unexpected word defined. So we have to use like this. Define. Camel case and camel case can be done. Or all the keywords should be small or all should be capital. So this is one of the important thing when we create the CDS view. So let me try to rename this particular CDS view. I have activated now. Now I am trying to rename this particular CDS view or SQL name. Let me try, instead of sample01, let me try rename as a sample02. So now I will try to activate. Control F3. So you can see error occurred during the activation of this. You can see in the log. For seeing the error information, you have to go to this one, and problem view you have to go. You can see what is the error. Okay, so the error is saying this particular cannot be renamed because this 01 for this particular DDL source, there is already one CDS entity which is already active, so you can't rename this one. So let me put 01 and try to activate again. Control F3. Now it got activated without any error. I didn't get any error. But let me activate this particular SQL view. Instead of 01, let me give some name 02. So again I am getting error, cannot be renamed this particular SQL under this DDL source. So as I told you, if you want to rename, you have to create different DDLS, you have to delete this one, you have to create different DDLS, and there you have to rename. Here you can't rename neither the CDS entity nor the SQL view name. This is very important thing whenever we are working on the CDS. Sometimes we have to rename due to the naming convention. Let me activate again. So one more thing, if you need any help here, suppose I want regarding this one VBAK help, F2 you can press as usual in ABAP we will do. If you want some more information, that you can go further and check it out. And if you want to open this one in editor, this also you can do. If you click here, it will open in SC11, your editor, or if it is older version, and if it is newer version, it will open in Eclipse itself. So if your version is 7.5 and below, it will open in SC11 as well sometime. So one of the client I am working there, it will open in SC11. So that is the reason I told you. It opened that VBAK in different tab. So like that I did. And one more important I want to tell, if you try to edit this particular database view here, you will be not able to edit. As I told you, CDS view which is created, this CDS database view can be edited only in the Eclipse edit. If you try to edit here, it will tell you cannot edit this object type view with the standard editor. You have to use edit only. There is no other way. And last, or one more thing, if you are not understanding anything, any keyword, just the simple click on this one, define view, click on F1, it will give you that help. So you can open this parallelly. Define DDIC, we will talk about entity in some other session. So this is the basic syntax. There is a lot of information given. Most of the point I have already explained. If you want to go through, you can go through again. It's a very tedious to read this standard document sometimes. So let me copy out this syntax. So let me see if we missed something or not. Control V, Control Shift less than. So as you usually see, we can give more annotation as well. We will see some more annotation in our upcoming video. I will explain each and every annotation. And we can define view. There is something called root view also. That also we will see in ABAP RESTful programming. And basic view we have defined. And one more thing I just want to see, if you want to give some name list. So name list means after defining, we define view, we can give the name list as well. Suppose I want to display in the output. Let me show you output. I didn't show you output till now. Let me activate it. For the seeing this CDS view output, you have to click on F8. Let me minimize this one. F8. It will display this one, the sales order number and the customer number. We got the 100 entries as of now. If you want to see what query got executed, you can click on SQL console, on which you can see, if you see the CDS entity is used, the CDS entity name is used to get the data from this particular CDS. So that's a very important. So we also have to use CDS entity only. Even though we can use SQL view name as well, but it's recommended by SAP. You always use, whenever you're writing the select query on the CDS view, then you have to use the CDS entity, not the SQL view name. And one most important thing I want to show you guys, once you click right click and you will click on show SQL create statement. So what was the, when you activated this statement, activate this particular DDL source, what query will be executed at the database level to create the database view. So that also will be shown here. You can see create or replace this particular view. It's select from, this is the native SQL language, we can say. It will be executed at the database level and view will be created at the database side. That also you can see for any CDS view. And most important thing, as I told you, if we can define the field name, if this is also part of the syntax only, so that is the reason instead of displaying as a SO and cust, as you can see currently it is the it is not proper. So you can, if you want, again you want to give some rename, you can give here as well. But if you want to give here sales order, sales underscore order, comma customer, CUSTOMER, customer. So define view, instead of displaying these names, now it will display this both names. So this we call name list, we can say. So we can give the name list, it is optional, it's not mandatory. Let me activate. So what will be the impact? I just want to show you. Let me activate and do F8, cancel, control F3 and F8. So impact is that instead of showing this SO and cust, now it is showing the sales order and customer name. Like that, it will be impacted. So apart from this parameter list, we will discuss the parameterized CDS, then I will show you. And these are the basic syntax of our CDS view. So I think we have discussed enough about the basic about the CDS view. We will go further in our upcoming videos. Be tuned. I will go step by step so we can understand each and everything about the CDS. Before going to next video, please like this video, subscribe this channel. It will give me huge motivation to create videos like this. Thank you and happy learning.